Hi everyone, Namaste, Mon here, and welcome to the channel, and welcome to the soul savants that are listening to this channel. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Um, Today's discussion, teaching, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to label it, is all about meditation. And I can't tell people to meditate. I did teach meditation for a little while, um, and they would come once a week and they would do the meditation with me. And I tried to encourage them to do their meditation at home. However, it's like going to the gym meditation. And I've been meditating on and off for 20 years. And meditation is one of those things that is fabulous for us, but we hesitate. It's like going to the gym. I want to go to the gym, but then my mind can actually talk me out of going to the gym. And meditation is very similar. I find now that I meditate every day, it's like cleaning my teeth. I can't live without meditating every day, and I'm going to explain that to you. Um, I started meditating with a Buddhist nun, so I learned the Buddhist techniques, and that was back in 2005. And I felt the energy of just doing that for an hour and a half, and I would float home. So I felt the change in my body system. When I came back from India in 2008, I started meditating every day. Whilst in meditation, I started a new business, a healing business with my hands. And I would meditate before the client came, and I was taught the technique that I still currently use today. And I channeled it. Definitely, it was a channeling. And that was quite exciting for me. And people asked me, where did you learn to do this? I said, well, I'm self-taught. I channeled it, but I needed to meditate beforehand to get into my body. So what I'm going to discuss today, I didn't read it out of a textbook. Nobody's told me to do this other than my higher self. I am hoping that anybody out there watching and listening to this has had the same experience, because if they have, then it's divine truth. All right. There's a few things that I had to do to become a good meditator. And what is a good meditator? Well, I've always meditated on the breath. I find it difficult nowadays to do guided meditations because I can stay on the breath for an hour without the mind wandering off. The mind may start to wander off, but I'm the observer. My higher self, my I am presence, is observing this mind that tells lies and is just so busy and active. And it's taken practice to be able to sit and focus just on the breath. All right. So that's taken a little bit of time, not a lot, not a lot. And I do my meditation with a timer. Way back, it used to be 20 minutes, and then I did a little work with a monk last year, and we worked together. And then I realized that I actually, as he had, we had reached enlightenment. Like, it's not a great big thing. We're in the modern age now. You can go and sit in an ashram and be guided by the monks. But we are in modern times. So I truly believe that you do not have to become a monk to become enlightened. And I think meditation is for every human being, because the mind is the last frontier. Why do people shoot themselves in the head? Because the mind will not shut up. the mind has been conditioned from childhood, just like a little computer. And then when we become responsible, then we can recondition the mind, all right? But practicing meditation will slow the monkey mind down so that day to day it is observing, and our ego does not allow the mind to run off into a direction where it traumatizes ourselves with its thoughts, because this can happen. And I've experienced this. I've allowed the mind to, not consciously, it has, when I was in the last few years in the dark night of the soul, the mind could take me into hell for 3 days, right? So now it doesn't do that because of practice. So I'm just going to explain the beauty of the meditation and what I am actually doing. And now I'm actually recording this in March 2026, and now is the perfect time for me to share with you what I have learned and what my higher self has taught me. Okay, now I call my higher self the divine. I don't have 50,000 guides with names and all of this business. I'm very grounded. I'm very earthy, and I'm very practical. And I understand that I'm a human being, all right? But I am a spiritual being experiencing a human experience, all right? So firstly, when I start my meditation, I'm getting into the body. I'm pulling the mind into the body. I'm pulling the mind onto the breath. Very important. Now, I know I can do that for a long period of time. So I didn't just start straight off on what I'm going to explain to you now. When I, really got serious, it was all about not allowing the mind to wander. And if the mind wandered off, I'd just bring it back. And where would the mind wander to? Oh, to start thinking about somebody. Oh, to start thinking about what I'm going to have for lunch. If I was excited about going out, which is usually I like meeting people and socializing. Well, I did, not so much anymore with the right people, with the soul group, yes. But I would get a bit of excitement, and my mind would be on that situation. If I'd had conflict with others, the mind could be banging on about that. So really, ideally, you need to get that mind so that if it does start to wander, you are conscious enough to be able to, no, back we come, back we come, back we come. And you continually do that until the mind is trained that it doesn't wander off. There's longer periods of time in between each mind wandering, all right? So the breath is life. Okay, we've heard that before. When my breath stops, if it stops and doesn't start again, I'm out of here. I've joined the divine. I've reconnected with the divine. There's no separation anymore with the body. So the breath, once it stops, when you're born, you get a slap on the bum. Ha! They're breathing, the baby's breathing. When we die, the breath stops. Okay, so we all know that. So initially, I'm getting grounded. It doesn't take long now to be grounded and to be on the breath and to be in the body. And that's why I find I can't do guided meditations, because it takes me out of the body. And I don't want to be out of the body anymore. I lived outside of my body for 55 years, easy. Now I just want to be in my body, because that's where all the magic happens, is inside the body, not outside the body. Okay. Now, what I did have to do in my dark night of the soul was I did chakra clearing every day for 2 years. Yes, 2 years. Just a free online YouTube meditation. I intuitively chose the meditation. Some guided chakra meditations, there's a lot of strong energy on it. And that is, I believe, the guide themselves is very grounded and very centered and is sharing the meditation YouTube video for the right reasons, okay? Not just to make money off YouTube. They're spiritually focused people. So there is the odd meditation there that has power on the what would you call that? The person who's leading the meditation. So the chakras, whether you do one chakra at a time, whether you do the 7 chakras, but I did it for 2 years, so that visually now it's so easy for me to visualize with my imagination my chakras, right? And it's also, doing it so long, it's also given me a relationship with my chakras, okay? And so I can feel these chakras activated. I can feel when my intuition is warning me about something, whether I'm lacking energy in some area. I have a beautiful relationship with my chakras, but it took 2 years, okay? So that's something very important with the technique that I'm going to explain, what I do, okay? Now, this is for all light workers, all star seeds, because this is what you're here to do, right? You are here to be a vehicle of light. And March 2026, with what's going on, I've only heard a little bit because we know I don't get involved in what goes on outside myself. It's all about what's happening within. That now is the perfect time, light workers, star seeds, angelic beings. It's time now, right? Boots on the ground. It's time to do the work. And there's no words or voice needed, just your light body. Okay. So what I then imagine, I'm on the breath, I'm grounded, I'm in my body. It only takes me a little while. It might take you 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Practice makes perfect, okay? And I imagine a light channel, but I don't even have to imagine it. I wait on it, all right? Now, I know my 7th chakra is opening and receiving the energy, prana, through that 7th chakra, because the whole top of my head, my scalp expands, like stretches out, okay? So I know, bang, the divinity and I, we've connected. The energy is coming down through my 7th chakra, all the way down through the chakras. And then I imagine that 1st chakra, that very deep red chakra. Now, once I get to there, that pillar of light, I imagine all the way going down into Middle Earth. There's a whole dimension of beings living down there. And it connects with Middle Earth. Now, number one, I know that this light, I'm being used as a vehicle, a channel, going through me into Gaia, into Mother Earth. So I've got that channel activated. And it's just a matter of consciousness. I'm not having to try hard about this. It's like, right, pillar of light, 7th chakra, divine energy using me, coming through me as a pillar of light down into Mother Earth, right? Next thing, I imagine a torus, T-O-R-U-S, all right? And the torus is like a donut, and there's no sharp edges. It's like energy that's flowing inwards and outwards, and it's continual. It's a living energy, and it's constantly flowing. So it's activated because my imagination just activated it. I've become aware of it. It's there all the time, but I just become aware of it in my meditation. So I see this energy coming in all right around my body. I'm in the middle of the donut, and the other ways, okay? And you need to look online and study this for yourself. I'm not going to give a big teaching on this. I'm just saying that this is what I've been shown by divinity. So once that Taurus is activated, my mind, my imagination again sees my Merkaba. All right. Now the Merkaba looks like in 3D, 2 stars. It's 2 interlocking tetrahedrons. All right. Now the Merkaba originates from ancient Hebrew, and ancient Hebrew for the chariot, the Merkaba is, all right? And that's the light spirit body. We are light beings. And if you want to go on the internet, they're all banging on about how they're light beings, they're light workers, they're like this, they're like that. But if you're not working with the light, then really you've just given yourself a label and you've joined a group of people out there that are getting off on the entertainment of spirituality, all right? But those old souls, the soul savants that I'm talking to, are here for a purpose. Everybody wants to know their purpose. I am quite happy if my purpose is just to meditate every day, not speak to anybody. I'm doing more work meditating every day for world peace than anybody who's standing up on a platform and gets a award for a peace award or whatever that is, you know. You're a light worker. You are very powerful, and you need to know how powerful your light is. So we've got the pillar coming through in the Middle Earth. We've got the Taurus activated. We've got the Merkaba activated. Now there's another level, and I've seen this with my eyes in 2013. I was working with an Indian online. He was up in the Himalayas, you know, spirit man. He might not have even been of this dimension, all right? And I looked up quickly and I saw a pyramid, of me in the center of a pyramid, and it was huge. It was like Empire State Building size. And I vaguely remember reading in Sanskrit texts or what have you that pyramid, we all have a pyramid, and when you use it to your power, it is huge, right? So here am I actually live 4 stories up. 4 stories up, so I'm not even sitting on the ground. I can imagine that my light's gone through all those people I'm living on top of and into Earth. And I'm actually in the middle of the pyramid, so my bum's not even on the ground in my imagination, okay? So you've got your Taurus, your Merkaba, your Merkaba, and then this pyramid, all right? And it's all light. It's beautiful, beautiful light. And then once I'm sitting in that energy, I feel the Kundalini rising. Now, my Kundalini was activated in my early 20s when I fell 5 stories out of a building. I was 23. And I survived. And you can have the Kundalini can be activated by a head injury. So I actually have a lump here, and it was activated. But then I went to sleep a bit, and then in 2007, 2008 onwards, it was activated, and I understood what I was actually dealing with. To me, the Kundalini rises up through that channel, the chakra channel, right? And it's this sort of a movement. So I know it's the Kundalini because it's like a snake coming out of a basket. And I've been to India and we've watched those snakes coming up with the guy with the flute. Okay, so there's all these aspects that I'm activating when I'm on the breath and totally centered. I am present watching all of this. Right, not the ego, because the ego wants to get in there and, oh, wow, look at that. Oh, wow. It's good to remain. The ego steps back to allow the I am presence to step forward. Now, in this meditation, which I do every day, those sort of other steps, you know. I was thinking of it like that child's car, I think, called a transformer. I vaguely remember my son, you know, it's like a car that turns into this robot thing. And that's how it feels in the meditation. Now, what I also experience is this inner Buddha. And I experienced this a very long time ago, but didn't tell it. I haven't told anybody any of this that I'm telling you now. And this inner Buddha is my old soul savant self. And this inner Buddha sits like a statue Buddha, all right? And that would be my I am presence. But there's another aspect that often isn't there every meditation every day, but if I'm feeling a little less on energy, or I've given too much energy, my inner child, she sits, because I sit lotus, my inner child, she's a young girl, she sits on my knee, on the Buddha's knee. And what's important for me, because I don't have any family, I don't have a partner, I live on my own, I have nobody giving me love, all right? And so it's very important in my meditation that the first person that receives the inflow of all of this energy into the heart is myself, right? So divine loves on me. Now, I think I've discussed this, that love flows through us. We aren't loving, we're allowing love, or we're resisting love to flow through us. Okay? So it's very important that I fill my heart first to love on me with this divine energy and to feel that blissfulness in the heart, because every day I need to be filled and loved on. But without attachments, I don't have that love coming from anywhere else other than the divine. And even the inner child, because she's the ego, the egoic part of me, she feels sad about that. You know, I can feel like a little emotion from her. However, I love her, and I'm the parent. My higher self is the parent. Divine is the true parent of me. I feel her with that love firstly, okay? I cannot help anybody else or give to other people if my heart is empty, all right? So I get to the point where my heart is overflowing with love. It feels like it's going to bounce out of my chest, all right? There's another aspect in my meditation too, where the third eye, the sixth chakra, wants to give downloads. So yesterday's meditation was very much about the downloads of here, what I'm speaking to you today, all right, to put it into some sort of form that I can explain my experience to you. All right, so the heart chakra becomes the center of the universe. Now, I know in my runes, because I choose a rune every day, because they, to me, are just such a beautiful form of enlightenment, okay, for the human being. My heart becomes the center of the universe. I don't need to keep focusing on the Taurus or the Merkaba or the pyramid. I already know that it's activated. The mind doesn't need to keep checking on it and keep the Taurus turning. It just turns, all right? It turns all the time. And the more vibrant you are, the higher the frequency of the light that you're projecting out to the universe. So my heart is the center of the universe, where everything resides, as me as the center of the universe, and you in your time and space. Outside of me, society, the world, all the things that are going on, I'm not connected to that whatsoever. When I filled my heart becomes the center of the universe, and then I trigger that energy to go out to the universe from my heart, as if I am the center, the sun, projecting that light out to the universe. And for me, it's gold light, okay, with flecks of purple color. All right. Now, there was something that's just left me. So I'm aware that the heart is projecting this light out to the world. Here we are, I've got it. Now, there is a prayer called the Gayatri, okay? And it's in the runes book, Ralph Blum's runes, which go right back to the 80s. They were the first rune book, really, that were on the bookshelves. And the Gayatri prayer is a life-enhancing prayer. And it's to the sun. You who are the source of all power, whose light radiates the whole world, you who are the source of all power, whose light radiates around the world, illuminate my heart, illuminates the whole world. You who are the source of all power, whose rays illuminate the whole world, illuminate my heart so that it too can do your work. And the suggestion is to imagine the rays of the sun coming in to fill me in my heart center and then bring back out into the world. All right? And that way, I'm being used as a vessel from the divine to be as bright and as magnificent light as much as the sun. I am no less than the sun when it comes to this energy. So with my imagination, because something that I was taught in my 20s that I've never forgotten is what the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. So because I believe in what I've just told you all these activations, and I believe it, right? And I feel it is that blissfulness, that energy in the body. So I imagine the sun, even on cloudy days, pouring into my heart and straight out to everybody, all right? And I understand entropy, all right? That's heart maths, where two people can be together and their hearts start beating at one. Well, we've all got hearts. We've all got hearts. The human collective beats as one, even though it doesn't look so good at the moment. So there's a lot of leaders on this planet that I connect my heart with. I'm not going to mention their names, but I send out this love right out to the universe so it engulfs the earth. It engulfs every heart, every sentient being. And I don't question this, and I don't have ego about this, because I know this is what I came here for, was to be used as a vessel. And I had to clean that vessel first so I could do what I'm doing now. And that was the shadow work. And that was the patterns of the early conditioning and the ancestral DNA and all that business, okay? That's got to be cleaned up. And I think in the scriptures it says you can't put new wine in old wineskins. So the old wineskins have to be cleaned up so this light energy that we have access to as light workers, star seeds, healers, way showers, labels. we can do this daily. We can raise the frequency on planet, and this is how it happens, as far as I know to do. Okay, without even speaking or telling or talking or anything, I believe that I'm as powerful a lighthouse as the sun, and that with my intention and my pure heart, not wanting anything back, right? Unconditional love that is divine love. I don't own it. I'm just allowing it to go out to the hearts of men, and especially men that have been put into power on this planet. And I do not fear the darkness. All right. And so there's my entropy with those leaders. So that happens. It's beaming out. It's beaming out. While this is going on, my whole body feels blissful and electrically charged, right? I don't have attachment to the outcomes. I'm in the world. I'm not of the world, right? I am a vessel of the divine. And it's very blissful and it feels beautiful. But remember, you've got to feel the self first. So you've got to get these chakras cleansed, activated every day, especially the root chakra. These first three have been wounded, right, by society. On my other channel, I have made 6 chakra videos. I didn't make a 7th chakra video yet. And I've been able to relate the ancient symbolism and meaning of the chakras with our modern times, okay, and the modern issues that we're having, all right? So it isn't just an Eastern philosophy. So that is what I do every day to meditate. And I think the biggest payoff, you could say, or thing that I receive is that feeling of my heart, because I don't have babies coming up to hug me and call me nanny, or I don't have anybody saying, oh, I love you, you're my girlfriend or whatever, or anything like that. I don't have parents anymore that tell me that they love me. So that love I give to myself through the divine. And that's enough. Every day I've got to refill it. And that's enough for me to go through life. I don't even need anybody else's energy. I'm totally unattached. There's nothing that anybody else can do or give me that put it this way, anything else is a bonus. How about that? Anything more is a bonus. But this is what it's called, to be filled, my cup to be filled by the love of the divine, right? And that is unconditional love. And by receiving that, I'm able to give that unconditional love to others, which is what the name of the game is, isn't it? We're all supposed to be loving each other unconditionally. So it's very bizarre what I've just explained to you. Yes, of course, I found out about the Taurus in 2010, I think. 2011, I came across an Aboriginal guy who had this Merkaba, metal wire Merkaba thing. And he came up to me and said, have you heard about Merkaba? And I said, oh, vaguely. And he gave it to me, and this is the magic of life. This is just the magic of life. If you can join the dots and go back, everything that you're meant to be doing, you're guided by divinity. Now, I'm not saying you guys have got to meditate this way and do this, because we're each individual and we're all a different essence, okay? And the divine works with our different essences, all right? So, and we're all different coloured lights as well. But to be a true light worker, you activate your light, and you have to believe that the light that you are, okay, because everything is light, all right, communication, everything is light and sound, all right, because light creates sound. There we go. And it is that powerful that it can change the world. and it can raise the frequency on planet. Okay, but we are working with Mother Earth, so I'm giving to Mother Earth first, and then as each piece that I've explained gets activated, then I end up filled in the end. And I didn't have to go to a church. I didn't have to go to a holy person. I didn't have to listen to somebody else tell me what I have to do to be spiritual. None of that. It's a personal thing. And I tell you what, once you do this, every day that I do this, there's nothing I need. I'm filled with the love of God, as they say. All right. And now it's very important that we do this, very important. And I think a lot of the light workers, star seeds and all that have been hijacked with information and not the right information. And I understand there's groups out there, and I understand shadow, and we will be talking about shadow because I've had lots of experience with dark matter, I will call it, all right, which is a scientific term, dark matter, so which is the macabre. All of that's all on the internet. You can check it out. It talks about it more so as a mathematical thing, but really, it's about the light that we carry. God was a mathematician. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. So how's about that? Hey, I've never shared that with anybody, but I truly believe that's it. That's it for me. That's my mission. That's my mission. The ego says that we're supposed to be this, stand on platforms and all this, blah, 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 blah. But firstly, it's our being. It's our light being that is that powerful that we can change the frequency on planet Earth as we come out of this Kali Yuga. All right. So thank you. I love you. Thank you for listening. We are a very tiny, tiny group, and let's see what the divine and who the divine brings to us. I'm not advertising it anywhere. Could you imagine? Yes, it all sounds a bit crazy, but it's worked for me. It's worked for me. There is a book that I did study last year called The Illuminated Mind, and it is a technical book that's been written by monks, philosophers about illuminating the mind, right? And the process of meditating to be able to master the mind. Last frontier of humanity. Don't let that mind tell you BS, because it loves to, right? And then once it knows that you're onto it, those 3 days that it catches you in thoughts end up to be 1 minute, and you go, oh, there it is again. I love you and thank you. And if you could just write a love heart or a comment or something in the description box, that'd be great. So I know you understand that I'm not just, lost my way. I don't think I have, but anyway, it feels good if I have. All right. Namaste. Bye.